You know what? Maybe we should call it the Good Evening Portugal podcast. It's another late one. So, boa noite e bem-vindo to the... heavens above. I'm tired. It's late. I do the Pure Portugal podcast. You should check it out. Episode 4 has just come out, the late summer edition, which is a bit of a compilation of the weekly pieces that I've been recording with some very interesting people. But no, this is good evening and welcome to the Good Morning Portugal podcast. What a strange irony to be recording late in the evening for the Good Morning Portugal podcast. But I like to get one of these out every day, daily 5 minutes of Portuguese vocabulary, adventure and culture. And what better way to tap into the culture than some of this?
O aviso foi publicado no site do Consulado ao início da tarde de hoje, em causa o crescente número de pedidos por parte de brasileiros para a obtenção de vistos de residência e de estudante.
And the point here is to watch Portuguese telly. Now, we homeschool our kids here, and my excuse for watching a bit of daytime telly sometimes is to have a learning experience, I call it, rather than watching daytime telly, because we have Portuguese TV on in the background, and the news is incredibly useful for hearing conversational Portuguese when people are speaking to each other, doing interviews. And I've got some key phrases for you that I've picked up that you'll hear as you're listening to news coverage. Now, one phrase that comes up a lot is mais ou menos, and it sounds a bit like mais ou menos, which is more or less, mais ou menos. There's also também, which is... também is also. I nearly forgot that I'm getting confused. Mesmo, I was hearing a lot today. Mesmo means the same. And talvez. Talvez means perhaps or maybe. And you'll hear these thrown in as people are being interviewed on the telly. These sorts of things come up, more or less. Mais ou menos. Or maybe. Talvez. Também also. And mesmo, the same. So... my favourite is during the day would be RTP1 and in the evening RTP3 seems to be the evening coverage for the news and RTP1 goes to football in the evenings, but it's pretty good for daytime coverage. So, yeah, a bit like recommending previously listening to the radio. TV's good as well. And obviously, as well as hearing the key phrases and the vocabulary and the language, you're going to be picking up on the news, finding out who the president is, who the prime minister is. That's another podcast for us to have in due course. And you do learn a lot about a national psyche, I think, by watching a country's television coverage output. So there you go. That's a good evening to you from the Good Morning Portugal podcast. Very happy to hear your feedback, by the way. We've been going now for over 40 episodes, getting on for 50 episodes now, covering our adventure here in Portugal. Actually, the adventure took a twist today. Or in the last few days, because we thought we were doing pretty well with the residency. We're keen to become Portuguese residents here, but our paperwork has been sat on a provincial Camara desk, and it needs to be escalated, I think, to a city desk, and we will go to the SEF, and that's also another podcast where we talk about the SAF. Estrangeiros is the E in the middle, which gives you a clue to what we're trying to do. So, yeah, it'd be great to hear your feedback. If you're somebody who doesn't normally chip in when they're listening to a podcast, doesn't think to get in touch with the host or producer of a podcast, why not do that? If you're enjoying the Good Morning Portugal podcast, reach out, give me a shout, carl@carlmunson.com, and I'm really pleased to take requests as well. So if there's a particular avenue of exploration about life in Portugal or particular vocabulary, be very happy to pick up on that and cover that for you. Seeing Trump on the telly now, I need to turn this off soon, but it was so good. I don't know if you've seen the president, Marcelo, he's known as, talking to Trump. That is an absolute classic. Well worth probably can find it on YouTube. Anyway, running out of time now. Carl Munson signing off from the Good Morning Portugal podcast. Catch up soon. Até breve. Ciao for now.